Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hall and I do product and travel review videos. So today we're going to be talking about my Rivian, but we're going to be talking about electric trucks in general. And I want to focus on electric trucks because they're newest to the market, and people who are truck people were very specific about what we want, why we want it, and whether we're going to buy this or that. So I want to talk today about who should not buy an electric truck and who should buy an electric truck. So I'm doing that for a reason because I've gotten a ton of comments. I have over 300 comments around my Rivian related videos, and it's, you know, very back and forth on this or that. Why would you do this, or what does that look like, or tons of questions, concerns, because there's a lot of interest out there of, is it the right fit for me? So I'm going to talk about who shouldn't from my opinion. Remember, this is just my opinion. I'm taking it from the conversations I've had in my daily life about the vehicle and the over 300 comments in my videos about things around the truck, or why would you do that, or whatever that looks like. So we're going to talk about that, and then I'm going to end the video on the reasons I think you should own an electric vehicle if these are the things that are important to you or these are not concerns for you. So we're going to cover both of those right after the bumper. Okay, so remember, these are just my opinions. I've owned a Ford F-150 gas, I've owned a Jeep Gladiator gas, and now I own my Rivian EV truck. So I have a bit of perspective on both. It's not that I've never owned a truck before. I loved my F-150. It was the second vehicle I ever owned all through high school. Oh my God, it was the greatest. I also loved my Gladiator. It was great. So I want to start off with who shouldn't buy a electric truck. And this is as of right now. This could change in the future as things mature and more things become available. So First concern is charging. If you don't have a reliable home charging source, you should not buy an electric truck yet. One, because the network, at least for Rivian, but even for the other CCS compatible chargers, it's just not mature enough. It doesn't have enough going on. Tesla's done obviously a really good job of getting out in front of that. If they all become compatible with each other, that could change my thought process on that, but there's still a ton of areas that don't have superchargers, and you would have to look at overnight charging or charging for multiple hours. So if you don't have reliable home charging, I don't think it's the right call right now to get an electric truck. If you live in an apartment complex and you're going to have to share a charger, you may want to also not buy yet, because remember, as electric vehicles become more and more popular, if you're having to share a charger, what used to not be a problem may become a problem because other people are going to have to use it. So just a heads up there. If your regular commute goes over the max range of the battery and you don't have a charge source at each end, so if you're driving to work and your commute back and forth to work, let's say on my truck is over 270 miles, and you don't have a charge at your work that where you can sit there and charge all day, I probably wouldn't buy an electric truck yet. The reason is like you're going to be stressed about going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. What if your significant other calls and says, hey, pick this up on your way back, and you're like, oh crap, like I gotta deviate from the plan slightly. Like, you don't want to have to worry about that. So you want to enjoy driving the vehicle, not worrying about charging all the time. So if your commute's pretty long and you don't have available chargers at each end, I probably wouldn't buy an electric truck yet. Rural trips. If you take consistent rural vacations or rural trips to see family, whatever that looks like, right now it's, and you don't have a reliable charging source of where you normally go, the charging network in rural areas just really isn't great. Now, like I said, if they group up and you can start using Tesla superchargers or things like that, that may change my philosophy on this. But as of right now, the CCS and the Rivian-based charge network is not there yet, which is crazy because this is an adventure vehicle. That's what they built it for. I know out west in some of the national parks and things, they do have Rivian chargers, the DC fast chargers, quite prevalent. There are none around me, at least in where I am in rural Pennsylvania. My only charging was like a 6.5 kilowatt before I got my home charger, which is terrible if you have to rely on that, because then you're going to be sitting there. And it wasn't anywhere close to my house, so it's not like I could just let it there and then walk home. It was quite a bit away. So rural areas, it's still a little tricky right now. If you have a home charger, I wouldn't worry about it, because that's what I have, and I have no issues now. That's my charging concerns. If you have any of those concerns, I probably wouldn't buy an EV truck yet. We're moving on to towing. So if you're a regular towing person, I'm not sure I would go with an electric truck yet, and these are some of the reasons. I'm just going to give you some stats between a Rivian and a Ford F-150 Lightning. So Rivian, 7K load it was pulling, so 7,000 pounds. Flat roads, it gets about 1.07 miles per kilowatt. The Rivian battery has 135 kilowatts, and that means you're getting about 135 miles per full charge. So if you're towing 7,000 pounds flat, you're getting about 135 miles. If you have a bunch of inclines, it drops down to like 0.66, which means you're getting 90 miles per full charge. So you go out at the beginning of the day, you're 100% full, you're pulling 7,000 pounds, but you have a very hilly terrain, you're only getting about 90 total miles. So if your round trip is more than 90 miles and you don't have a supercharger available, that's going to be a problem, right? And you don't want to get stuck with pulling a load, spending hours sitting in a thing. Just for comparison, Ford Lightning, and I read this online, I don't have specifics about this, it's pulling an 8,000 pound load, whatever battery, because I guess Ford Lightning already has multiple battery sizes, you get 50% of your battery. So if you're a 300-mile range, you would get 150. They didn't have any incline decline. I'm sure that will affect it, but I don't have any of those specs. Yeah, so that's towing. So if you tow regularly day to day, just realize that your battery range will fluctuate by a pretty decent percentage. It also fluctuates based on terrain and weight, as you would expect. The last one is the people who shouldn't buy an electric truck. If you're not a techie person, if you're not big into apps, phones, techie things, and these things are literal spaceships. You go inside of them and there's like no buttons, everything's on screen. So if there could be some irritation there for people who are not used to that or not comfortable in that space, if you're not into tech, I probably wouldn't buy an electric truck. Okay, let's talk about who should buy an electric truck. These are just my opinions. Once again, these are things that highlight for me for reasons that I enjoy owning an electric truck. I love new things. I love talking about new things. I love making YouTube videos about new things. So having this vehicle, I've had a lot of content create, plus a lot of people ask me questions out in the real world and say, what is it? What is it like? What does it feel like? People want to go on test drives. I'm cool with all that. I like spreading that knowledge. I love talking to people about, and I've always wanted an electric vehicle, but I know I wanted a truck, so I had to wait. And then I was able to get one, so I was super pumped. My daily commute is within battery range, my max battery range. So now that I have a home charger, I have no concerns around, I never think about the battery or if I'm gonna run out. If I do make a trip, I have to just plan ahead. So I do a bunch of planning and then I make sure that I can maybe overnight charge or keep my truck somewhere to charge it up. And it just takes a little bit of planning. So my daily commute doesn't bother me at all. I don't charge my truck every day because my daily commute's actually pretty low. And I have reliable home charging. If you have reliable home charging, for instance, you'll be able to put a wall charger at your own home, then go for it, because then your charging concerns won't be that drastic. So if you have that ability, then owning an electric truck could be for you. If you wouldn't be consistently affected by the, I would say, insufficient charging network right now, like if you're going to be able to home charge a lot, or you're not in a super rural area, if you're in a city where there's superchargers available, then you should be fine. You should have no issues. If they're plentiful in your area, then I wouldn't be concerned about owning an EV truck. If they're not readily available, like me, that home charger is going to be essential. If you love tech, get this truck. Like I said, it's a spaceship. I get to live in Star Wars every day inside that vehicle. It's amazing. If you want a truck that does all the truck things, but also handles amazing, not like a truck, this thing's for you. It is so much fun to drive. All the different drive modes are amazing. It handles like a dream. Couldn't be any better, but then I can also use it like a truck. I can tow things. It obviously has a bed. I treat it like a truck as well. So it's amazing. You get the best of both worlds. And if you're a planner like me, I'm a huge planner. So planning, looking at charge stations in the area, figuring out what I want to do because I'm going somewhere, like that is all totally cool for me. I do it whenever we go on vacation anyway, so I'm just adding another step to my plan. If you live in that space and you don't mind planning ahead, then you should be fine, because that's really the main part of owning an electric vehicle, electric truck right now, is you have to just think a little bit farther ahead because you may have to kind of change plans or figure something out based on a charge station. Yeah, So those are my main reasons of why you should own. Gonna run through those. New flashy things, daily commutes within battery range, reliable home charging. If you wouldn't be affected by the insufficient charging network. If you love tech, if you want a truck that handles like a car, and you're a planner. So those are my main points. As I did at the beginning of the shouldn'ts, those are the shoulds. If you have any questions, like on all of my videos, leave them down below. Let me know in the comments if you're thinking about buying one, if you want one, if you have any questions around the truck beyond any of the things I spoke about today. I have a ton of videos on the Rivian, but if you have any questions, you just want to chat one-on-one, that's cool too, because I answer all of the comments. So I think that's it, and I will catch you on the next video. Thanks.